Have you ever considered the impact of your breakfast cereal on the world's wildlife? It's a surprising thought, isn't it? Yet it's one that we need to explore. Many of us start our day with a bowl of cereal without giving a second thought to its ingredients. One such ingredient, frequently found in our pantries and fridges, is palm oil. This ubiquitous oil is not just in our breakfast foods, it's in our chocolates, our soaps, our cosmetics, and countless other everyday products. Palm oil is derived from the fruit of oil palms, primarily grown in the tropics of Africa, Asia, and the Americas. The scale of this industry is staggering. It spans the globe, reaching into the lives of billions. However, this seemingly harmless ingredient may not be as benign as it appears. So let's take a moment to ask ourselves, palm oil is everywhere, but at what cost? Palm oil plantations are often synonymous with the destruction of tropical rainforests, a statement that carries with it a weight of truth that is hard to ignore. So let's take a closer look at what this means. You see, the cultivation of palm oil is a process that requires ample land, much of which is obtained by clearing vast swathes of tropical rainforest. This deforestation is not simply a matter of chopping down trees, but rather it's a radical transformation of diverse, vibrant ecosystems into uniform monoculture plantations. Imagine, if you will, a bustling city full of life and color, reduced to a single monotonous office block stretching as far as the eye can see. That's the reality for our rainforests. The complex network of life that once thrived there, from the towering trees reaching for the sky to the microscopic organisms in the soil, is replaced with a single species, the African oil palm. This transition is not without consequence. The rainforest is a hub of biodiversity, home to countless species of plants and animals, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. When their home is destroyed to make way for palm oil plantations, these unique species are left with nowhere to go. The result is a devastating loss of biodiversity and an increase in the number of endangered species. The countries most affected by this are Indonesia and Malaysia, who together account for over 85% of the world's palm oil production. Their rainforests are disappearing at an alarming rate, replaced by endless fields of palm trees. The environmental impact is staggering, and the effects are felt not just locally but globally. The tragedy, of course, is that this is driven by our demand for palm oil. It's in our food, our cosmetics, our cleaning products, and even our fuel. It's a cheap and versatile ingredient, but the cost to our planet is high. So, as we gaze upon the vast green carpets of palm trees, it's important to remember what once stood there. Our demand for palm oil is reshaping the world's rainforests, and not for the better. It's a sobering thought, but one we must confront if we are to protect our planet's biodiversity for future generations. As these rainforests disappear, so too do their inhabitants. In the lush green folds of the rainforest, a diverse array of wildlife thrives, each creature playing its unique role in the intricate web of life. Yet as palm oil plantations expand, these natural habitats are being decimated, their residents evicted with nowhere to go. Take, for instance, the orangutans. These gentle tree-dwelling apes are an iconic symbol of the rainforests, but as their forest homes are razed to the ground, their population dwindles. Orangutans cannot survive without the rainforest. It's their supermarket, their playground, their home. The loss of these forests translates directly into a loss of orangutan life. Then there are the tigers. These majestic creatures, once rulers of the rainforest, are now on the brink of extinction. The Sumatran tiger, the smallest of all tiger subspecies, is particularly at risk. With their habitats destroyed, they are forced into closer contact with humans, often with fatal consequences. And let's not forget the elephants. The Borneo pygmy elephant, the smallest elephant species in the world, is in grave danger. These gentle giants depend on the rainforest for food and shelter. But as the forest disappears, so does their food supply, and they are left starving and homeless. The loss of habitat isn't the only threat these animals face. The destruction of the rainforest also disrupts their breeding patterns, making it harder for them to reproduce. It fragments populations, leading to genetic isolation and inbreeding. And it brings them into conflict with humans, often leading to their death. It's a bleak picture indeed. But it's not too late to change the story. The lives of these animals, and countless others, hang in the balance. Their survival is intertwined with the health of the rainforests, and the decisions we make about palm oil can tip the scales one way or the other. The survival of these species hangs in the balance, threatened by our hunger for palm oil. But the fate of these animals and their homes isn't sealed. In the face of such overwhelming environmental challenges, it's easy to feel powerless. But remember, the choices we make, big or small, can have a significant impact. There are alternatives to palm oil, and by choosing them, we can help to protect our planet's precious wildlife. One of the most powerful tools in our arsenal is the concept of sustainable palm oil. This is palm oil produced in a way that respects the environment, the wildlife, and the communities that live in these areas. By supporting companies that use sustainable methods, we're voting with our wallets for a more responsible way of doing things. But how can we tell if a product uses sustainable palm oil? This is where conscious purchasing decisions come into play. Many products carry a label indicating if they use sustainable palm oil. This label, often a green palm, is your assurance that the palm oil in the product was produced responsibly. Of course, it's not always easy to find products with this label, but don't be disheartened. Remember, every time you choose a product labeled as sustainable, you're sending a message to the industry that you value the environment and the wildlife it supports. And if you can't find a product with the sustainable palm oil label, consider alternatives. There are many other oils out there, such as olive, coconut, or sunflower, which can often be used instead. But it's not just about what we buy, it's also about raising awareness. Talk to your friends, your family, your colleagues about the impact of palm oil on our planet. Share what you've learned. Encourage them to make conscious choices too. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about saving a single species or a single rainforest. It's about protecting our planet's biodiversity. It's about ensuring a future for all the incredible species that call this planet home. Your choices matter. Together we can help protect our planet's biodiversity and ensure a future for these incredible species.